Hey, hey, what's up, Corey? I see you out there. Um, for those getting ready to join, 6 o'clock ish, Average Joe's will start. Nate is having some issues, so some technical difficulties. He's rebooting, but give us a minute. We'll be there in just a second. So I'm going to switch the screen because I got some things to do while we wait for Nate. I got to bring him in and adjust his audio. So, Corey, if you can hear this, let me know that my audio level's good. Just say, yes, it's good, unless you're driving. Sometimes you're driving. So I understand if you cannot um, comment. So, because I want you to be safe. But thanks for tuning in, Corey. Hopefully you're being safe out there and people are driving like they have some sense. So give us a few seconds and we'll be with you in a moment. And there is about a 20-second delay. So when you guys are typing into the comments, it's like 20 seconds after we've talked, and I don't get to see it for like 10 seconds. So, all right, we'll see you soon. Stand by. All right, all right. We're still waiting for Nate. He is having some technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. And Corey, yes, I know about the wicked glare. I have a ring light right here in order to give me enough light on my face. So I'm going to try to do the show without my reading glasses. Everything's looking pretty good, so I may be successful in doing that and pulling that off. There are some tricks of the trade where you like tilt your glasses forward, but to me it looks awkward and odd. So I'm going to try to do this show without the glasses. Hopefully Nate is going to join me. He told me he had to reboot his PC. So, and there he is right there. Let me see if I can't bring him in. Can you hear me, Nate?
I can hear you.
Okay. So we're in pre-show.
All right. Yeah. Sorry. My computer was being specifically, I don't have a word for it.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey, we both got red shirts on tonight.
There we go. A couple of red dads.
Nice. A couple of red dads. Nice. All right. Yeah, we are live. Did I tell you that? We're streaming right now. So just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just kind of a pre-show. We'll start here. It's
a little bit of a pre-show, get a little bit of situated, just kind of gather our bearings in the words of Bear Grylls. It looks a lot brighter tonight where you are. You have more lights on?
I do. I'm working on,
Tell you what, Merle, you're a little bit more sexier than I remember. That you should have more light on.
I'm trying to be 1% sexier every time we broadcast.
That's right.
1%.
Yes, sir.
Had
a little birthday party this afternoon.
Nice. Whose birthday?
Yes. My cousin's daughter. She turned 2.
Cool.
And, it's always nice seeing a little baby open up presents and be so excited. And so cute. All right. Let's pop it off.
All right. Okay. I'm going to mute us. And let's see. If we got a couple people watching, we're going to kick off with the official Average Joe's, whatever that's called. It's not a trailer. Here we go. Hold on. All right. Talkback is on.
The following opinions are 99% factual.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
And I think that is just the way that I will cease to exist, because you and your wife have it out for me, apparently, and I don't know why. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Average Joe's. I am your host, Nathaniel Manier, and we are here on February 1st. The month of January is gone, and already just a few minutes into the episode, I've got an assist from my daughter. So what's up, Pumpkin?
Yeah, well, while he's doing the assist, thanks for tuning in. We got a couple people out there who are watching live right now. We appreciate that. I know Corey is out there. I don't know if he's working. Let us know if you're working, Corey, because, Corey, he drives a truck and he tunes into us and listens to us while he does his job driving petrol around the county here. So,
all right. Well, Corey, if you are out there, be safe. And, if you guys can give us a like and a share, maybe give us a couple comments, just to let you know if you can hear us. And we are here, yes, kicking off the month of February, Saturday evening. The first month is already gone of 2020. I sound like my grandfather or my father, just, I can't believe it's February already. Where's the time go? But yes, we are here on this dreary start to February. As I look outside, I see Bob Ross, sad clouds, just kind of it's disgusting outside, honestly. But yes, we are here. Merle, how are you doing, sir?
Man, I am fine as frog hair today. It's like you said, it's a little gloomy out there, but I'm doing fantastic. And as you can tell, I've taken off my spectacles, so I'm going to try to do the show without the reading glasses because there's a wicked glare that comes through. So, so far so good. So, trying to be 1% less worse.
That's right. And I put my hood up to take the glare off of my forehead since I'm going bald and I shaved my head. So, just to, take that away from you. Days off Saturday and Sunday. There we go. Speaking of Saturdays, so your boy Corey voted, and we'll get into this. You know what? Let's just jump right into our polls. There's a couple of ones I wanted to get to, but it goes into last week we were discussing. Let me flip in my handy dandy notebook. A little bit of Blue's Clues there.
As he holds his notebook up to the camera.
There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. So last week we asked our team, our beautiful teammates out there, which would you be more likely to listen to, Saturday evening show or a Friday evening show? And 62% of the audience says Saturday nights work better for them. But Merle,
yes,
what would that be? 58%, I guess, or 48%. They said no. 38%. Oh, my math is horrible. They said that they would like the Friday evening show better. Now, I noticed that the people who voted Friday are a little bit more loyal listeners. So, yeah, we might have to, I don't know, maybe we can just keep, until we keep growing, we get a specific time. Maybe we'll cater to both sides. Here at Average Joe's, we don't like to leave anybody out. So maybe we'll throw in a couple Friday shows every once in a while.
There you go. Keep things interesting.
Let's see. Keep things interesting, son. We stay interesting. Let's see. Would you rather have French fries or a milkshake as a delicious treat?
I was surprised at the results. I was honestly, I was
too.
surprised. Yes,
65% said milkshake, and I don't know, man. I'd rather have a box of a plate of fries or something. Some McDonald's or Wendy's fries. Five Guys. I don't know. As I've gotten older, I've lost my sweet tooth. It's kind of non-existent now. I'd rather, after dinner, I often joke, we'll go out to Outback, and for dessert, we will stop and get a cheeseburger for dessert rather than have some cake or pie or whatever.
Right.
But let's see. Hey, hello, Miss Carissa. How are we doing?
That's just what I need.
That's right. We need to get Chris on here to give us some TikToks. Maybe she could be our TikTok reviewer.
Well, and speaking of the milkshake, she probably knows the Cardi B song, "My Milkshake Brings All the," which it's kind of a sick song.
Not Cardi B.
Look at
her dancing on the background back there. There you go. That is not Cardi B. That is Khalees.
Oh, Khalees. Okay.
Yes. Come on, Merle. Get your female hip hop stars down, dude. Okay, so 65% of the people would rather have milkshakes, and I'm a little bit disturbed by that, but whatever. A milkshake's good.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a root beer float over a milkshake, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Okay, would you rather walk around all day with wet socks or wet underwear? And I was shocked at this. 59% said wet socks.
Wow.
And I cannot do wet socks, man. I will, I can. It's not that I want to have wet underwear on or wet drawers, but it's just wet socks are the worst. I
tell you. So when we were in the Army, when I was in the Army, I mean, that was the big thing. We wanted to keep our feet dry, and I remember a 12-mile road march that I did, and I probably had to change my socks 3 or 4 times so I didn't get. Back in the day, I think they called it trench foot, but your feet get all nasty and they get all sweaty and wet, and they start peeling and opening up, and I got to keep my feet dry.
Well, that was one of the biggest problems during World War I, wasn't it? That people didn't understand the importance of keeping your feet dry. And a lot of people got gangrene. A lot of people got sores and had a lot of issues with their feet because their feet were wet.
Yep.
So, so that was our polls for the week. We only had 3 of them this week, a little light on the polls, but for all you wet socks people out there, get some help. Go seek professional help. So, Merle, what have you been up to this week, sir?
That's a good question. I haven't been doing much. I went to work and I came home and
your first full week back at work, right?
Last week was my first full week.
Last week was okay.
And actually, I think I took a mental health day on Tuesday, so I only worked 4 days this week. After being there full time last week, 5 days, I just couldn't do it, so took a mental health day.
That's the best kind of day to take, son.
That's right.
I love that.
Yeah,
those are my favorite days, mental health days. Which is essentially, I'm just sick of you people, and I can't be around you right now.
That's right. You people make me absolutely sick. I want to throw up.
That's right. I'm tired of you guys. I got to take this hood off because your boy is getting hot in here. I don't know who turned the heat up in my house, but so yes, we are supposed to have a guest on tonight. My buddy Brandon was going to join us, and he is Merle. He is currently getting his PhD in epidemiology, which is the study of viruses. So I wanted to have him on to talk about the coronavirus because he's got a lot of info on that, and that's what he's discussing. That's what he's learning about and getting his PhD in these. How viruses and how things mutate and how they're controlled and why do it. So I had a whole bunch of questions for him, but he texted me around 4:30. And said he is stuck at work waiting on some engineers to come fix some lab equipment. So he's going to have to reschedule with us. And by that time, I'm sure the coronavirus will no longer be an issue and we'll be on the next big scare tactics. So, but let's see. According to the CDC, the Clintons have killed more people than the coronavirus. And Merle, I don't know if you can pull that up, but so Merle and his lovely wife, they both tagged me in that post saying that I was going to that I was the next person to die from the Clintons, apparently. So, it's just nice that let's see. After this comment, we just might find Nate shot himself in the head twice at our local park. Good going, man. And then Renee, it's been nice knowing you, Nathaniel. So I like that Merle posts Clinton death memes, and then they both blame it on me. So yes, I am not planning on taking my own life. So if I show up dead, Merle and his wife are the co-conspirators with Hillary and Bill.
Hey, look, I want to live. After I put that up, I'm like, wait a minute. Because people don't know who whether it's you or I, because we're the administrators of the page. I thought I better be clear that was Nate. That wasn't me, because I want to live, Nate.
Yeah, well, I was confused because it says posted by Merle because I can see that. But then, so I'm glad that you're throwing me under the bus, man. That was very kind.
Hey, speaking since we drug Renee into this because she decided to talk. We were talking yesterday. We've talked about this on the show about how you proposed to my wife when you were 4.
Yes.
And apparently, based on the story that I got, your proposal to my wife was better than my proposal to my wife because you actually came with a ring and I didn't when I proposed. I was too poor. But apparently,
Merle,
you brought the ring.
Even at the tender age of, I don't know, 5, 6, how old I was, 4. Your boy's a romantic, and I'm always looking to take that next leap into the. You got to make the ladies feel special, and it's pretty impressed that she said yes to you and you didn't even have a ring.
I know. Well, it's the face, right? It's the face. However, you left an impression because she told me she still might have that ring. We're trying to find it right now. So
wow,
yeah,
interesting. I probably stole it from my mother.
No, apparently you bought it out of the bubble gum machines, with the little plastic. And apparently you didn't even take it out of the plastic. You presented the whole thing to her.
Well, I'm not going to taint it. I'm just going to give it to her fresh and clean. And
So,
dude, I'll tell you what, man. Your lovely wife Renee, she had the entire Rosemont neighborhood taken by storm.
that's awesome.
She was babysitting everybody in the neighborhood, and all of the little boys were falling in love with her.
That's hilarious.
Nice. Well, I hope you find that ring. That would be awesome.
I do too.
I can't believe she kept it. If she did,
Yeah.
interesting. Nice. So yeah, man. If Renee works out next time, if she doesn't work out next time you propose, make sure you have a ring.
Right. I will. Absolutely.
Okay, fair enough. Nice. So let's see what's been going on. We got the coronavirus stuff. And what's weird about this, so there's a documentary out on Netflix right now that my buddy turned me on to. I'm going to try and check it out this weekend regarding rogue scientists and lab technicians who are doing their own you could have been oh my gosh. That's right, Carissa. If the laws were changed. I don't know, your mom might have been in jail if she said yes.
Right.
So yeah, man, it's the coronavirus is going out, but there's this new documentary on Netflix apparently regarding patents on viruses and why scientists sometimes do things. People say, why are we researching things that could, get out in China right now? Wuhan, I think, is the city maybe,
Mm-hmm.
but there was a stage 4 weapons facility, if you will. But they were weaponizing this. I don't want to use that word weaponizing, but this was happening where it got out, and they were working on this virus, and I'm maybe doing testing on it because I'm kind of torn there, Merle. Without science and without people pushing the limits, we wouldn't have a lot of the cures we have, or we wouldn't have a lot of the studies, the knowledge that we have of these things. And yet, you kind of wonder, hey, what's the point of doing, why are we doing these studies and this research when all I can see is bad coming out of it? But as I started looking into it, and that's why I wanted to have Brandon on, because I'm an idiot about this, but I joked with him and I said, hey, man, I understand you got to cancel on me, but just don't create another virus because you guys are bored. You guys are just hanging out in the lab and you don't have anything to do. And you're like, let's see what happens when you do this and this. But yes, so Bill Gates, 3 months ago, he said that the coronavirus could kill up to 65 million people around the world. And there's also a patent on the coronavirus. If you could check me on this, Merle, I believe that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, I believe they have a patent on the coronavirus. Now, I wanted to ask some people and have somebody on here who's much more knowledgeable than me, but why would you patent a virus? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't know why you would do that. I guess there's got to be a reason behind it. Maybe if you patent the structure of the cells and all that, then that gives you what's it called, leverage for when you create a cure, or if you get I just don't know why anybody would have a patent on that. But yeah, Bill and Melinda Gates was talking about the coronavirus killing 65 million people just 3 months ago, and now this is broken out in China mainly, but I saw that Massachusetts earlier has a confirmed case now. There was a couple kids in Miami of Ohio who were quarantined this week because they had traveled back from China. And it just seems, I don't know, we got Ebola, we got the West Nile. It seems like every year there's some new virus that's kind of getting out there. And I think it's only a matter of time before they go too far and they make something that cannot be controlled. I also think that this has to do with Hong Kong. Now, this can be my conspiracy side coming out of it, but there's a lot of cities right now in China that are quarantined, and it kind of took the heat off of Hong Kong and all that was going on in China. So I don't know. It's just a little weird. There is no patent for the Wuhan coronavirus claim. Rothschilds own a patent. Incorrect. Now, who did you check that from?
Well, that's I was getting ready to say. So that's you got to be careful because that's just a quick Google search. So
Sure.
that's one of those fact websites that tend to be
Okay.
ran by individuals who aren't very factual. So
This is true. So yes, as of right now, the first Google link says no, there is no patent for it. But as everybody knows, you can believe everything on the internet, both ways, good and bad. But yeah, man, it just seems like there's a lot of, especially in China, just seeing some of the videos coming out, and I don't know what it is. It's ridiculous, and it's kind of weird. I think it's another one of those smoke screens to hide from the impeachment, maybe, or something else that's going on. A friend told me years ago that whatever they're reporting on the news, you can be sure that that's not the most important thing going on. That's a smoke screen. So, but yeah, nonetheless, prayers for all the people out there who are affected by it and sick, and hopefully that can go away soon. Now, Merle, do you think weaponized viruses and sicknesses will be used here soon?
well, if I remember,
Are we heading down that road?
Well, I mean, if I remember correctly, I believe according to the Geneva Convention, which we are a part of, that has been outlawed. So we should not be weaponizing any type of a virus. I mean, it's against the Geneva Convention. So I have to assume that we're following those rules and laws that we've agreed to.
Right.
But I mean, it's been done in the past, so you know what they say about history. So I mean, it is very repeatable. So I mean, I can imagine that if one day if we find ourselves in a predicament where we may be losing a conflict or war, we may resort to those types of means that we need to in order to, win. Right. So let's hope not. But who knows? Right.
Right. Yeah. I feel like if you did that, like once the cat's out of the bag, how can you use that or control it? But yeah, like you said, hopefully it doesn't get to that point. But I think it was just a year or two ago, people were talking about the Pentagon weaponizing insects, and I believe that the House tried to maybe pass some kind of law pass something, a resolution saying that the Pentagon was not allowed to try and weaponize insects, mosquitoes, ticks, these different insects that can carry diseases and spread them. And I don't know if that turned out to be true or if it's just another internet story. So, but I wouldn't put it past the powers that be. Let's see. Oh, did you see that? So the coronavirus, the White House has put together a task force on how to handle the coronavirus and if there's an outbreak and how to look for help.
You're talking about all those old white guys?
It made me laugh so hard. They said the CDC and the Trump administration were putting out a task force to try and come up with a plan for the coronavirus and leave it up to the internet and all these different journalistic websites. And the biggest problem with that was, of course, that it was there that his task force on the coronavirus was not diverse enough. So I can just see it now. If I'm laying in a hospital bed and they come in with an anecdote and they're saying, "Hey, we've got a help for you," and they go to inject it in my arm, and I grab the needle right before they inject it, and I say, "Hold on, was this done by a straight white male or was it done by a black trans? Are we checking off all the proper boxes?" But I thought that was so funny that they're coming up with diversity for a task force to help it. I don't know. It just makes me laugh, man.
God
it's every angle you
forbid.
can get to.
Right. God forbid a bunch of old white guys want to help, save people from a virus.
Correct. That would be horrible.
Be horrible.
Okay, let's see. We got all the white guys on the virus. We've got Brexit happened this week.
Brexit.
England has officially left the EU, which more power to them. I think that every nation should be able to have its own sovereignty and do what's best for them. And I saw a nice hot take on this that finally our master plan is coming to fruition, and now the UK can rejoin us, and we can have little America over in Europe. And I thought that was a great take on the situation. So the UK, yes, has left the European Union, and I don't know, man. Europe's a little different than us because it's smaller countries. There's more countries. They're older, and I understand the kind of the concept of getting a union together where all these nations can kind of look out for each other and help each other. But when it gets to the point where your nation is ponying up the most cash or ponying up the most goods, and you're not seeing any return for it, that's why the UK voted to leave the EU, because they feel like they weren't getting their share due out of the process, which is essentially what our president Donald Trump has been saying about the EU. And what's the other group of? Gosh, what's the group of countries that they? What's it called? When they're going to war, and Donald Trump was getting upset saying they weren't putting up enough money.
Oh, you're talking about NATO.
NATO, yeah. So when you're footing the bill, but you're not seeing a lot of the results, it kind of makes you question some things. So good luck to the UK. They had the royal family Brexit. Now they have the Brexit from the EU, and we'll see how this changes the economy or affects the economy.
Well,
I work at a. Go ahead.
Oh, you bring up when you say let's see how it affects the economy. And it's going to be interesting to see how the media portrays this, is because my understanding is even though they left today, they are obligated to still follow the rules and regulations set forth through the end of the year. So today was just like the start of Brexit. They have left, but they still have to fulfill, I guess, the contractual obligation, which isn't for a couple months. So it'll be, if that is true, and if I understood it correctly, it'll be interesting to see if something happens. People like, see, yep, you know what? They broke away from they broke from Brexit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's what, so I work in the aerospace industry, and our CEO last year was discussing this, and he was saying that that this could change up the European markets a little bit, and until things kind of, fall back into order, that it could be a little risky doing business over there. But yeah, like you said, let's say the UK has 5 or 6 months of a bad economy, why they're trying to exchange this, and the rest of the European nations maybe team up and say, hey, we're not going to do business with you guys because you abandoned us and you did this and did that. But I think that in the long run, it's good for them, and I think it'll work out for them. That's something, Merle, that I kind of struggle with. At what point do you say I can't help you guys anymore and this is no longer working for us? And absolutely, like, we should do whatever we can to help these low income nations and help these countries that are struggling. But the more, you can't just throw money at a problem, and we need we need minds over there. We need people who are solving problems and getting rid of presenting solutions to problems. And it seems like government doesn't know how to solve problems at all. And every time they try and do anything, they just make it worse. So I think that's why when people say, Canada, a few years ago, they passed a law saying that for every new law they make, they have to revoke 2 laws on the books. And I think that would be a great idea for the United States government and for local government. If you're going to pass a new law, then you have to get rid of 2 laws on the books, which would be great, because then you're thinking, okay, is this really worth it? Because eventually you're going to get that. You can get rid of the dumb laws that nobody likes, but eventually, it's going to get to the point where you have to consider, is this law worth passing to get rid of 2 other laws? So I would like to see that done. But yeah, I think it's going to work for England and our fellow I don't know, our former enemy, but that was so long ago. I don't, it's still whenever Britain pops in my mind, I still think a little bit of King George and get out of here. But, that was so long ago that I was a thought in my great, 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 great grandfather's balls. It was, let's see, for every new law, revoke 2 laws. That was a real thing. I believe that was in Canada. Yes. They, maybe not the nation, but a province or a city. If they wanted to pass a new law, they had to revoke 2 laws because there were so many laws on the books, which I think that's awesome. So let's see. The DNC is trying to screw Bernie again. I saw yesterday they changed the laws for the DNC is now allowing single single donations that can exist past a certain amount. So Michael Bloomberg is getting that money in there. And, if you remember back in 2016, the DNC went after Bernie and they screwed Bernie out of his thing with Hillary. And now it looks like Bernie's going to get got again because of the way that the DNC and the RNC can just change their rules at any minute to determine who can join a debate or who can be they can basically choose who the candidate's going to be.
So let me get this straight then, if I get this correctly. So the Democrats supposedly are the party of diversity and right, what's the word I'm looking for?
Tolerance,
right? But so there's a bunch of white dudes going to change the law so that a rich white dude can actually participate in their electoral process.
This is correct.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I thought I might have been missing something here.
Nope, you're not missing anything. It's a bunch of, I love the t-shirts of, and the bumper stickers. I'm tired of old white men making decisions for me. And then they're going to elect an old white man to make decisions for them. So you're either going to get Joe Biden or, what's his name? Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren, I guess. Diversity, inclusion. That's right. So, and you know what? Elizabeth Warren might be a man because she was a Native American. So who knows? You might get 3 old white men. But I would, Merle, I like your boy Yang. I might I can get on board with him. Reading some of his reading the plan that he has for the universal income. I think that would do good for the economy because he's basically saying, hey, if you already receive benefits, if you get food stamps or if you get welfare or unemployment or anything, you're eliminated. You don't get the $1,000 a month. But Merle and Renee, you guys would get $1,000 a month to help you with whatever. So if you're a tax-paying citizen who's working a job, you're going to get an additional $1,000 a month just to help you with your income, with whatever you may need.
So I'm going to get my money back.
Yeah, that's right.
He's gonna give me my money.
Yes, he's gonna stop robbing you as much. And he even made that joke on Joe Rogan. He said, "Look, this is your guys' money. I'm not trying to. It's not the government giving you money. It's you keeping your money." So. I think that could work. Plus, he's the only reasonable candidate besides Tulsi Gabbard that I think on the Democratic side that if they put up Biden or Warren or Sanders, I just don't think that that's going to change anything. Now, if you put up somebody who's going to bring some people back to the middle, Andrew Yang can bring over some Republicans. That $1,000. So on his website, he's got some pretty cool stuff. Oh, frozen. Nice. I had a weird freeze there. On his website, he lays it out and he's basically saying, hey, we're going to cut foreign aid. We're not going to bomb as many people. We're not going to do this. We're not going to spend millions of dollars trying to fix other nations' problems. What we're going to do is we're going to, instead of war and instead of these things, we're going to take that money and we're going to give it back to the citizens because for the price of, 50 bombs for 25 helicopters, you could probably feed the entire South for a year. And I work in the aerospace industry, and yes, I like making a lot of money and my company's doing well, but man, the amount of money the government sinks into the military industrial complex is huge. And so people say, where's that $1,000 going to come from? Well, it's not just going to come out of nowhere, but we're going to cut back on different expenses that don't make sense to us as a nation. So, but at least I feel like Andrew Yang is one of the most reasonable Democratic candidates, and whether or not he wins, I don't know. I don't think he'll let them have the candidate because he's not pushing war and he's not pushing division. But, Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, Donald Trump, they will continue the Republican versus Democrat dilemma that we find ourselves in. So we had our impeachment this week, and looks like they voted to not allow witnesses, 61-49. So it looks like Donald Trump's going to be acquitted probably around Wednesday or Thursday of this week, because I think the State of the Union is Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, so I'm guessing they'll probably do that the day after the State of the Union. I don't think they would want to do it before then. That would probably take some of the focus off of it. But yes, impeachment's winding down. And as we've all knew, this was just a partisan thing. Donald Trump has done some things I don't like. But, when you're the prosecutor, you can't come to court saying, hey, this is our evidence. And then when you get to court, say, actually, we need some more evidence. You kind of blew your chance there.
Yeah. So this is what I don't get. I mean, the House had an opportunity to call witnesses, and they called some witnesses, but they were, they did their picking and choosing. Right. So,
right.
why did you not call all the witnesses that you wanted to hear from during the House proceedings?
So the way I understand it, the people that they wanted to witness were protected by the White House. So the Democrats would have had to file a subpoena and then go through the court systems in order to get them to come to witness. Now, yes, that's what you have to do.
Right. That's what you got to do.
You can't change the law just because you don't like it. So,
right.
If they should have, it's been 3 months. The impeachment stuff started in December, right? So if they would have filed all that stuff back in November, October, they could have had all that stuff straightened out, but they were in such a rush to get things through that they did not think it through. And so now they get to the Senate and they're like, well, we need this and this and this. And it's like, no, you blew it. You should have come with that evidence already ready to go. So yes, I think impeachment will be over soon. Did you see there is a congressman in New York, Merle, Joey Saladano, who he is running, I believe, against AOC in her district, one of those districts in New York City. But he took a 23andMe, and it turns out that he's like 40% Northern African descent. So he took to Twitter and he posted that picture and he said, what up, my niggas? And, they weren't 15%. Okay. So yeah, a lot of people were getting upset with him, saying that was wrong. And the one tweet that I liked was one guy said, if I see you on the streets, I'm going to come up and get you. And he responded by saying, thank you for committing to black on black crime, which is hilarious because clearly he's not black, but he's pointing out the silliness of the whole situation.
Is that the picture of him right there? That's the picture of him right there? Is that him?
Yeah, no, I don't think that's him. He's a younger looking dude. But
okay.
I don't know. Maybe he went through some plastic surgery. I don't know.
Okay.
He's a younger dude. He looks like he's in his 30s, maybe. So yeah, he was causing quite the stir on Twitter because of his 23andMe. And Merle, did you know that since 1975, what do you think the rate of decline or incline for the polar bear population is?
Since 1979, the rate of decline.
Polar bear population. Decline or incline. What do you think it is?
Well, if you would listen to the mainstream media and buy into the fact that there's this so-called climate change and all the polar ice caps are melting, that would tell me that if that is the case, then the polar bear should also be in decline. So I'm going to say, based on that information, we've experienced a 25% decline in the polar bear population.
And you would be wrong. There is a 400% increase in the polar bear population since the 70s.
How can that be?
Well, yes. When they take these pictures of these polar bears who are all skinny, and it's after they catch them after hibernation and at the end of a long winter, and they come out and they're all skinny, and it's like, oh, the polar bears are dying. Well, no, that's just because they haven't eaten. They've been sleeping and chilling. And if I slept for a couple months and I hadn't eaten in a while, I would look a little raggedy. But yes, there has been a 400% increase in the polar bear population since the 70s. So just another example of this is not going. There he is. Look at that. Look at that beast right there. Old Joey Saladino. So yeah, the polar bears are just fine. They've been drinking all the Coke and they are just chilling, hanging out, eating all of the little baby seals. And what's funny is, animals they're not biased. They don't care if you're black or white, or if you're a male or a female, or I'm going to eat you.
They're going to eat you. And, that's right.
It's funny how, animals are just, it's a meritocracy. It's strongest survives. They don't care about anything. And that's what makes us humans, because we do care about those things. But yeah, I just thought that was funny when I saw that story, the 400% polar bear increase. And let's see here. Okay, so let's do a little bit of sports here. My main man, Kobe Bryant, tragically passed away with his daughter and 7 other people last Sunday. And I was thinking about I was not the biggest Kobe fan growing up, but he was the first superstar that I was introduced to, watched him play his whole career and then retire. Michael Jordan was already in the league when I was growing up. He came in 84 and I was 1 year old. But Kobe Bryant was my age. He came into the league in 1996. And I watched him come into the league, grow as an NBA player, and then retire. So he was like my first, star athlete that I got to watch his entire career from beginning to end. And it was just sad, man. He's an American icon. And for anybody who's not a sports fan, I can just tell you that Kobe Bryant, if you are a sports fan, the dude he was just amazing. And to see what he had become after retirement, he started basketball academy, helping kids and working with his daughter. And it was just incredibly tragic to see that happen. So, rest in peace, my man Kobe.
Hey, so did you see the latest news about his helicopter pilot was not authorized to fly in weather like that? He was only authorized to fly on instruments.
Wow. So then how did he get that clearance?
Interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know how that all works, but
because you hear they showed the radar, and you heard I heard the clips of talking to the tower and stuff, and wow, that's incredible. I can't believe that happened. That sucks.
Yeah. So, that's, I can see, and like I said, I don't know if Kobe actually owned the helicopter and the pilot worked for him, or it was through a leasing agency or what, but how that all plays out, I'm sure is going to be, there's going to be some contention there, and there's probably going to be some lawsuits coming. And it's sad because it's avoidable at this point, it looks like, because it's down to pilot error.
Yeah. And if that guy was, I was listening to Clay Travis this week, and he was talking to a guy who's a private pilot in helicopters in Miami, and he flies these millionaires around and billionaires around. And he said that the way he was looking at it, he thought that the guy just he was not prepared, and he went to pull up too high and ended up tipping the helicopter over and lost control. special VFR clearances given to certain pilots. So if his pilot was trained and certified, then okay. But if this new story is coming out saying that he was not certified to fly without instrument navigation, then yes, you're right. That could absolutely add a different wrinkle to the plan. And you know what, Merle? I'm sure they've made that flight 1,000 times in the fog.
Right.
And that's just sad when
it is sad.
It's one of those 9/11 things. I'm never going to forget where I was when I found out Kobe Bryant died.
Right.
And I was at the gym and I was lifting some weights and I got on my phone and looked at it and just was, that's not real. Young, rich, successful athletes and movie stars, and they don't die young. It's just, it didn't happen. And I just couldn't believe it. I started going down some of the rabbit holes on YouTube on if Kobe Bryant was murdered. And you'll be happy to know, Merle, I did not see your boy Nate did not come away with any hard evidence that he was murdered.
Very good.
I think it was just operator error. And, people brought up Kobe Bryant did have a pending lawsuit against some pharmaceutical companies who were using his logo and they were using his supplements and different things. But I don't think that would be it. Some people were saying that he was killed because he spoke out in favor of Hong Kong during the protests when the NBA was over there. But I didn't see any kind of evidence that said that he was murdered. But it's just really sad, man. Him and his daughter, and then his daughter's teammates, their parents. I think it was 9 people total. But man, I'll be interested to see how that, if his pilot was not licensed to fly in those conditions, or if he was not trained in that. I don't know how. I was listening to the video on that, and the tower he was talking to, they said you're okay to fly in VFR conditions or whatever, without instrument navigation. But I don't know how that works, because in this pilot I was listening to, he was talking about, you cannot ground somebody unless the president's in town essentially. You're not going to, if somebody has a helicopter and they say, hey, I'm going out today, and they say, hey, well, we don't recommend it because it's very foggy or the weather's not good. At the end of the day, they can't stop them unless there's a terrorist attack or a major event. So you're allowed to go out and do that. So, like I said earlier, man, I bet you that pilot and Kobe had made flights like that many times in the early LA fog, and this time it just, it didn't work out. And it's sad, man. I broke down a couple times just seeing videos of him and his daughter, and I have my buddy Marcus, who's sitting there commenting. His daughter goes by Gigi, and girl dad was trending on Twitter this weekend and Facebook, and it just, it's just a really sad story. So, but I thought it was weird. He had Tracy McGrady was another basketball player, and he was played against Kobe, and they were interviewing him, and he said that when he was 18 years old, Kobe was his age, and they came up in AAU. And he said that Kobe always said when he was like 18, 19 years old that he wanted to die young, and that he wanted to win NBA championships, become a legend, and then die young. And, it's weird that people say that. And I don't know. It was just odd that he said that. And then it came, there's power in your words, essentially. So, but yeah, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant and his daughter. Yeah, dude, it's kind of weird, man. This last week, honestly, has been a little off because I don't know. He was just an American athletic legend, and I don't know. I went to the store today to get a Lakers hat so I could wear it tonight, and they were all sold out. There's no Kobe Bryant gear anywhere. Nike pulled all of his stuff off their website. I'm guessing they did that so that they didn't exploit it and people would buy it and then put it on eBay for thousands of dollars more, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But yeah, so rest in peace, Kobe. And of course, LeBron last night failed to get the W for Kobe. So that's just me being a little bit salty towards LeBron.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything bad about it, but of course LeBron didn't win the tribute game for Kobe. Of course he didn't. Okay, that's it. I don't want to say that because you know what, Merle? I know for a fact there's a couple Facebook memories that are going to pop up where I made jokes about Kobe and his sexual assault allegations. So I'm going to feel bad when those pop up on my memories.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. And
It is what it is.
yeah, man, it was just a sad, sad story. So,
Yep.
But yes, let's see what other sports news. The Cincinnati Reds had a couple of key signings. They signed Nick Castellano. He is a utility player. And the Reds have spent more in this offseason than they have in the previous 10 years combined. So, they're going for it, man. I'm excited for the upcoming season. Spring training starts here in about a month. And the Reds have Mike Moustakas and Nick Castellano. They made some big moves, signed a couple pitchers. So spring is in the air. I can already smell it.
Did you say Mike Moustakas?
Yes, what a great name.
That's a great name, Mike Moustakas.
Mike Moustakas. Yeah, the Moose.
So is he like college player, or is he come from another professional team?
Yeah, Mike Moustakas came from the Brewers, and Catalanos. I still can't remember his name. He came from the Cubs, but he's a young player, and they're both great players. So it's going to be very exciting for the Red season coming up. And let's see other sports news. So it's Super Bowl week, Merle. Who you got between the Chiefs and the 49ers? Who's going to win?
So I don't have a dog in the fight, right? Because as I've said in the past, not a huge NFL player, a big NFL fan. However, with my boy being a 49er, and since he won Rookie of the Year, I'm going for the 49ers. I mean, that's just, Nick Bosa is my boy. I loved watching that kid play in college, and I'm happy.
I wish I could be on your team. I love Nick Bosa, love my Buckeyes, love my fellow Buckeyes, but he now plays for a team that beat my beloved Cincinnati Bengals twice in the Super Bowl. So I cannot root for the 49ers because they beat my Bengals in 1981 and 1988. Don't be excited today. The Reds and the Bengals play right next to each other. Let's be real. You know what? Can we block Marcus for the rest of the show?
I like
he
Marcus.
Always has to.
I like Marcus.
Blow it.
We should have had.
Blow it, but they're not going to blow it until October. So
we should have had Marcus.
The summer.
We should have had Marcus dial in. He had a lot of good information here.
Well, you know what? Maybe next week we'll have him and Brandon on because we were having some nice debates over some stuff this week. So that's what brought me on, made me want to get Brandon on. So Marcus, don't worry. The Reds are going to break the curse. Hopefully, probably not, but maybe. You know what? Maybe. So yes, Carson Palmer was down at Super Bowl Media Day talking about our boy Joe Burrow. The Cincinnati Bengals had the first pick in the draft. And as everybody expects, they're going to take Joe Burrow, who's an Ohio kid, just won the championship with LSU. He's formerly of the Ohio State University and transferred down to Louisiana State. Now, Carson Palmer was the quarterback for the Bengals, and he played there for 8 years. And he told Joe Burrow not to go to Cincinnati because Cincinnati is not interested in winning a Super Bowl. Now, I'm not going to disagree with Carson Palmer. But shut up, dude.
Shut up.
You went to the playoffs 4 times and lost all 4 times. And then as soon as you left, a rookie quarterback came in and made the playoffs for 5 years in a row. Now, we didn't win any of those games, but Carson Palmer needs to just shut up and relax and go play golf in Southern California and hang out and just leave us alone, man. Stop trying to rain on our parade. Carson Palmer, you bum. So, Merle, I saw a funny story this week I thought I would mention. A father. Could you choke out a coyote with your bare hands?
Well, funny story. I almost had to go hands on with I don't know if it was a feral dog, but it was a Doberman Pinscher that was loose in the neighborhood several years ago when my girl was about 2, and I didn't have my gun on me. I only had my knife, and the dog and I kind of got into a confrontation, and man, it almost came to the point where I thought, me and this dog's going to blows. I'm going to have to go hands on. And Nate, I was scared because it was a Pinscher. It was a Pinscher, Doberman Pinscher.
Yeah, it was a big dog.
Yes, I was scared. So
Earl, I have no doubt in my mind that you could take a Doberman with a knife easily. Now you might get bit in your arm or leg or whatever, but dude, you're an Army Special Forces ex-Ranger. I have no doubt in my mind that if you had a Rambo knife in your hand, that you would be able to take a Doberman with ease.
God, I hope I never let you down, Nate. Good.
So there was a dad, and I want to say this is in New York, but I can't remember. But a father was out on a hike with his wife and his 2-year-old boy, and a coyote came out of nowhere and went to bite his 2-year-old son. Now he didn't make it through the son's clothing, so the son did not get bit. But the dad had to jump in, and he got bit several times. But he ended up essentially choking the coyote to death and killing him with his bare hands. But he did get bit a couple times, of course, so he had to go start taking rabies shots. And he's got, I think they said he has to take 5 total shots over a span of a few months to get treatment for rabies. But man, can you imagine being a dad and killing a coyote with your bare hands to protect your family? That's awesome. That would be so awesome. Gangster.
That is,
yeah. So shout out that dad, because there's either, what is it? Fight or flight or daughter. 1 second. What?
Yes. Yeah. So you've got the fight or flight instinct. Corey says New Hampshire. So I guess means it happened in New Hampshire?
Maybe that would have been, just a couple weeks ago. I believe that's when I originally saw the story. But yeah, this guy choked out a coyote with his bare hands and made me, I don't know. It didn't make me want a rabid animal to attack me and my daughter, but it kind of did, because I just think that would be great. But is it? Yeah, it's run, flight or freeze. A lot of people say, hey, you're either going to fight or you're gonna run, or some people freeze and they don't know what to do. So right. I think that would be exciting to take on a. It wouldn't be exciting. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm soft as anything, man. I get mad when the air conditioning goes out. So, but you just wonder those things, as a father, and you wonder what you would do in those positions. Luckily, I haven't to, and I pray I continue. Don't find myself in that. But I could just imagine being a dad, man, and choking out an animal with your bare hands to save your family. That would be so awesome. So I saw another story that made me happy. There was a giant pileup in LA this weekend, apparently. And if you've ever been to LA, the traffic there is the worst. It's horrible how bad it is. But there's a giant pileup on the highway. I believe it's the 10 out there maybe. And a couple of food trucks who were stuck in traffic decided to open up operation right there on the highway. So they opened up and started cooking for people because they were stuck at a standstill for a couple hours. And there's some pictures of people on the highway getting out of their cars, and everybody just came over to grab a brat or to grab a cheesesteak or to grab some tacos. And I thought that was awesome, man. Way to turn a bad situation into a good one. Because I know when I'm stuck on 75 coming home or going to work, if somebody offered me a taco right next to me, I'd make it a lot better, and it would probably get rid of some of the road rage. Let's see. So what else do we got here? Merle, what else you got going on, man? Anything caught your interest from the last week?
Well, the only thing that I've got is I took a little heat. I don't know if it was what's up, Steve? My youth pastor's watching. So, hey, how's it going? Look, we'll give him a shout out here since he's in here. Well, He says, "Hey Merle, what's up, Steve?" The
Shout
thing
out
that-
Steve. Hello, Steve.
Yeah, Steve. Steve's a good cat. The thing that caught my attention this week, and I took a little heat from, I don't know if it was, I don't know who the guy is on our Average Joe's site, was,
Oh, yes.
CPAC basically has disinvited, I guess, Mitt Romney to, they say the annual confab. So I guess that is CPAC. So CPAC 2020, because he voted to call witnesses, during this trial that's going on. And, my comment was, let's see right here, what I say. I said, it's sad that a person can't have an individual thought. Now, is Mitt being a man-child because he lost in the last primary to Donald Trump? Most surely, but why does the establishment have to act like 10-year-old girls? That's the sad part.
Yeah, that is sad. First of all, stop acting like 10-year-old girls are soft and they can't handle things. You're kind of stereotyping people
Oh, I'm
there
sorry.
when you're saying that. Yeah, come on, dude, chill out. A 10-year-old Renee would whoop a lot of people. So,
Well, a 10-year-old Renee's, she's in the minority.
yeah, I thought that was messed up too, and that just shows you the partisan of it all. Mitt Romney said, "Now, Merle, is this okay when somebody says, hey, I think that we need to have some more evidence and we need to take time to look at some?" To me, that's a reasonable thought. Yeah, I don't know what all Donald Trump did. Did he break the law? I don't know. It looks like he maybe kind of did a little bit of you do this for me and I'll give you this. But guess what? That's been going on forever. Barack Obama withheld aid. George W. Bush withheld aid. Bill Clinton withheld aid. It happens all the time. So I don't think that's wrong to do it, but I can't get mad at Mitt Romney for voting his conscience. That's why I'm not a big fan of Bernie Sanders' politics. But the dude at least believes in what he says and he doesn't change it for anything, under any kind of, pressure from his party. He's going to speak his mind and hold true to what his values, what he believes in. And Mitt Romney did as well. I think that Mitt Romney's a conservative, sure. And I don't think that it's wrong to say, hey, let's hear from other witnesses. But yes, in this day and age, you cannot vote against your party or you will be just extinguished. So yes, Mitt Romney, and you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if he lost his next Senate seat battle, because man, there's, the Trump fan base is just as crazy as the left, the super woke left crowd. So
Right.
We'll see how that works out. But yeah, old Mitt Romney, I was kind of when that gentleman put what's so sad about thinking for yourself, it kind of made me sad that having your own opinion and your own individual thought is frowned down upon because you have an R next to your name.
Right. Yeah. I just think it's sad. I mean, he's let's see what his constituents think, but to disinvite him because he didn't vote your way again,
Right.
it's the establishments. Both of those establishments are all about party. They don't care about people, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, and you would be 100% right, because I don't think that it's bad to vote the way that, like, you staying true to your principles. Now, yeah, was Mitt Romney being a little bit salty? Maybe, but you know what?
Absolutely.
Mitt Romney has also had Donald Trump's back on different votes and different. So I'm not going to be mad at him. I can't be salty about him. I think there was 3 Democrats that voted against having witnesses. The guy from West Virginia, maybe. But I think there was 3 total Democrats who voted no against their own party. So I'm sure that they're being flogged by the other side as well for how could you side with Donald Trump. And you know what? All 3 of those people, I listened to their interviews and they said, hey, the evidence isn't there. And you can't come to trial as a prosecutor and say, hey, I forgot some of my evidence at the house and I need some more time to look at this.
Right.
No, man, you already called. We're already here. We're doing this right now.
We're doing it.
So yeah, it looks like old DJT Donald J. Trump is going to be acquitted this week. So we'll see how that works. And I think it would be funny if during his impeachment he made some jokes, which I'm sure there's going to be. He's going to have a couple of little, or during his State of the Union address,
Yes.
he's going to have a couple of shots. And you know what? His State of the Union is going to be funny because there's going to be a couple shots where the TV freezes during applause or whatever, and it's going to show him looking right at the Democrats, and you're going to get that the eyes meet eyes look on the TV. So that'll be fun to see how that works.
Yes,
and then
it will.
Nancy Pelosi is going to be sitting right behind him. And I don't feel bad for Nancy Pelosi, but I think she gave into the pressure of the Democrats. And, for the first couple of years, she said, hey, I'm not going to impeach him unless I have something to impeach him on. And then they rushed this through the House, and I think they just wanted to get it out there. And they did it at the worst possible time because we have an election in a few months, and people are going to remember that. And, at the end of the day, it's how's your pocketbook doing, and that's how people vote. When the economy is good, people tend to say, hey, let's not change this. So I just saw that China and the new trade deal, China, I believe, what is it, $1.5 billion that they are going to invest in American companies, or that they're going to buy American goods. So that's one thing I wish Donald Trump would have done better when he went into this trade war with China, was explain to people that, hey, like Brexit, this isn't going to be an overnight thing that's going to fix. But we're not going to let China screw us anymore. And, it has hurt the farmers. That's why Trump gave a giant bailout to farmers last year, because, it hurt us. But it seems after a couple years, the Chinese, they need us, as do we need them. So, but we'll see how that goes. So, but yeah, man, that State of the Union is going to be funny Tuesday night. And
yeah,
I hope he comes out, I don't know, wearing like a peach colored suit. I think that would be hilarious. Oh, Donald Trump. Dude, we are 4 years into his presidency, and I still can't believe Donald Trump is president of the United States.
hard to fathom, isn't it?
I was talking with somebody on Facebook or on Twitter yesterday, and I said, hey, man, Donald Trump is a symptom of a sick government. And it's not that we like Donald Trump, but so many Americans were saying, hey, if you guys want to have a bleep show in Washington, D.C., then let's do it. Let's see how weird we can get. We're going to put the biggest, most egotistical person in there. I don't know a lot of people who think that Donald Trump is like they were his first idea of let's have him as president. But once you go down this road, it's like, hey, all right, let's just see. Let's do it. Let's go. You guys want to do that? Let's do it. So, yeah, I still can't believe he's the president. And as of right now, man, it kind of looks like he's going to win re-election, and we're still a few months away. So, Merle, I think the only person that can beat him is an Andrew Yang or a Tulsi Gabbard, someone who's not going to argue with him on stage. Because if you put Joe Biden up there, he's going to try and go back and forth with Donald Trump, and that's not going to work. And if you put Elizabeth Warren up there, she's going to put up the typical political speech. He's racist, he's sexist, all these things. So, but if you put someone like Andrew Yang up there, a guy who's not a politician, he's a businessman, and he's reasonable, he's going to get up there and just kind of like he's not going to attack Donald Trump. And I don't think Donald Trump's going to know what to do. He needs somebody who's going to go back and forth with him. And that's why him and Hillary worked, because they both, they didn't mind throwing jabs at each other. So I think that would be Donald Trump's worst nightmare, is to get a calm, cool, and collected person up there who's not a politician, because that's what Donald Trump's looking for, sound bites. So I think if the Democrats really, really, really hate Donald Trump, which I don't think they do, I think they say it, but they all don't mind him there because it's good for ratings and it's good for their brand. I think that Andrew Yang has a chance, because he's just not gonna do the same things that Trump's accustomed to. So
Yep.
All right, brother. So 7-11, you got any closing thoughts here?
No, I'm, just, hey, it's going to be hopefully a good week next week. Come back and check us out on the Facebook. Our YouTube page is up. I keep putting stuff over there and inviting people over here. So
yes, we're being 1% less worse. So I still got a few people ask me about the iTunes audio for the podcast. I got people who are wanting to listen to it through that. So we're getting better, man. It's a new year. This is our 4th episode of the year, I think.
Yes.
We're doing
Yes.
good, man. We're
Yep. We're rolling.
chugging along.
Machine.
So yeah, if you got time, hang out with us for the after show. We're gonna get a little weird and not discuss politics, and we're gonna look for some weird stories and maybe just have a little bit of chatter. So stick tuned for Average Joe's After Dark. And thank you for joining us. We love you all. You're all amazing human beings.
All right. We should be back.
I love the PG-13. It catches me off guard every time.
PG, PG-13. Hey, I think your mom's finally joined us, Miss Minear. I see that you did join
me
us.
over. She made ribs for her friends the earlier. So
Nice.
she invited me over for ribs, and I said, "Mom, I got a birthday party and my podcast tonight. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it." So shout out Miss Carissa. So yes, I don't know. I'm glad that she's joining in finally. Let's see. I just seen that the USA declares a health emergency.
Go.
Is it over?
No, yes, it's over. Go. Hold on. I got to get them out of the shot. They don't need to be in here. Go.
Go, go, go.
Oh, good Lord.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
now
the
what-
U.S. just declared a health emergency over the coronavirus. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. I know I guess they've got some housing and things that they've established because I guess they're quarantining now, right? Quarantine everybody who's coming in. So,
Yep.
I mean, it's
Yes,
going to be
sir.
interesting. We were looking at some statistics at work the other day during lunch, and we'd done some Googling, and, I mean, I forget how many. I'd have to do it again, but, more people, of course, have died from influenza right now than even thought about corona. So,
well, I mean, every year we have this. We have the swine flu. We have the West Nile. We have the bird flu. We have the Ebola outbreak. It's everything that that goes on that distracts us from anything going on behind the scenes.
right. Yeah. Now that being said, I am going to take some precautions because I'll be flying here really soon for work, and we're starting to get into that season. And I might break out the old Japanese. You know how the Japanese do it with the mask.
Yes, and you know why they do that? I learned something this week.
Well, they do it for several reasons.
Yes, but over there, if you're sick, you wear a mask. So that you don't share that to other people.
That's correct.
You see the mask and it's like, oh man, they're all freaked out and they're all
No.
it's just common courtesy over there
Right.
to say, hey, I'm sick. I don't want to spread this to other people.
Right.
And we can learn a lot from our Asian brothers and
Yes.
the common courtesy and the sense of family. And
Absolutely.
I think that is a big deal. Yes.
Yep. Hey, so I guess did you see the video I put up this morning where I said I basically literally laughed out loud? Childish, yes, but
yeah,
funny for sure.
yes.
Dude, I could see you doing that. We need to go to a local park someday and let me film you walking around with a fart machine and just being a.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It would have to be. I want it to be real, though. I don't want it to be a machine. I want to get authentic actions.
Well,
I
don't know.
If I hear a fart, it doesn't do the same as if I smell a fart.
Okay. You're fine.
All right, so give me your prediction for the Super Bowl. Who you got? Chiefs, 49ers. Who's going to win?
I told you, man. I'm just because of Bosa, I'm a 49ers guy. I mean, I'm just because I like the
I just
kid.
can't believe it.
So
I like him too.
I'd like to see him.
I
It'd
just
be kind of
can't
fun.
root for him because of the Bengals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if the 49ers do win, I think I'm going to buy you a new pair of those Nike Colin Kaepernicks so that you can wear them.
I will not wear.
He was a 49er, and I think that's only true. That's only fair that you wear the Colin Kaepernicks.
No.
And why? What's wrong with Colin Kaepernick, man? You don't want to stop
Hey.
brutality, and you don't want to stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't think our justice system is messed up?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, there's got some valid points, but I'm just not a Colin Kirkpatrick fan. It's just, and look, he has the right to kneel and all that stuff, but I mean, to me, my flag means something completely different than what he means. And Grant, hey, look, peace. There are injustices that are done every day in this country. I believe it, but we're still the best damn country out there, Nate.
This is absolutely true. And you know what, man? It's really cool how a lot of, military people have such a different perspective of the flag and this country. And I haven't met one military person who said that they disagree with Colin Kaepernick's right to do that. Right. Usually the people who say, oh, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, it's people who have never served. Right. And the people that have served and people who are willing to lay their life down for that flag and what that flag means and represents to this nation, they have no problem with him doing that. Now, they might not be a fan of his or they might not support it, but I thought that was kind of odd when all that started happening, that the people who care about our flag the most were okay with him doing it. The people who, had never served and never done that, they got very offended. And I think there was a weird psyche behind that. Like, why is that? Why are the people who signed up and willing to die, they're okay with him doing it, but the people who have never sacrificed their own life or their own family, they got a big issue with that. So,
right.
But yeah, I'll get you those Colin Kaepernick new Nikes. What size do you wear?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call Nike and see if we can get an Average Joe's sneaker.
Average Joe sneaker. That'd be awesome.
All right,
so what you got going on?
You got your Chili Bowl tomorrow, right?
We got the Chili Bowl. So yeah, I mean, come on out. It's at Centerville High School, 11 o'clock.
Wait a second. Hold on. Didn't Centerville High School get shut down this week because everybody was sick?
They did. Yeah, Krista brought that up. She's like, why are we going to the high school? Won't we get sick? I'm like,
they had to bring in professional cleaners, and they had to sanitize the whole school.
See, the best place to be on Sunday at 11 p.m. a.m.
Well,
I said,
hopefully.
Will you pull out of here? She's driving me crazy.
You know what? Was that Renee over there? The stroke from the side?
Yeah.
Renee. Oh my gosh, man! I can hear that voice. It just I remember sneaking out when she's like, "Hey, I'm making lunch. Don't go outside." And then I hear that voice, just get out of there. Man, I'll tell you what, man, Renee, she can strike fear into someone's heart. And
she's going right now.
The ring. That's right.
I'm trying to mute the whole thing out.
That's okay. Let her go. I love a little bit of fear.
Yeah.
All right. So Chili Bowl. Yeah. That's at what time tomorrow morning?
So service is at 11 a.m. I think I said p.m. 11 a.m. And after my preacher brings some hellfire and brimstone, we'll have some chili. So, hey, there might be snakes. I'll throw that out there. It could be a good service. We might handle some snakes. We'll see.
Why are you guys are gonna do the Kentucky church where you guys all get bit by snakes and die? A suicide cult.
I keep telling the pastor, man, if we want to put butts in seats, we'll handle some snakes. People will come out to watch that.
That's true. I might come out just for that. That would be exciting.
See?
Hey, if you want to fill the church, you gotta deliver death into the possibilities.
That's right, man. People are going to come watch it. So we'll see what happens. He's never taken my advice.
He's never taken your advice.
He's never taken my advice.
He's not a smart man because I've never not taken your advice. So is it at Centerville or are you guys at your church tomorrow and then people are going over to Centerville?
No, we're all in, man. Everything's being done at Centerville High School. Yep. In the gymnasium.
Man, growing and growing. I like that. Okay.
Yeah. We've had to have it out there at Centerville High School now for several years because we've gotten too big to do it at our church. So, excuse me.
Nice. And what time does that start?
So the service starts at 11 and it's immediately after. So he'll preach probably and we'll have some music. It'll probably start 11:30, 12 o'clock. Chili Bowl.
Okay. Yep. Well, me and Mary Ellen might sneak out there to Centerville and say hi to the crew and have some chili, man.
Yeah. We'll be there.
All right, brother. Well,
All
Merle, as always, it's been a pleasure, and
Yep.
thank you for joining us. And I'm waiting to hear from my buddy Brandon, and maybe we can get him on next week to discuss some
Cool.
of these this virus stuff. If not, maybe we'll get Marcus to come on here and make fun of me, because if there's one thing that my friends like to do, it's give me a hard time, and that's why
awesome.
they're my friends.
There you go. All right, brother. We'll see
All
you
right.
later.
Well, we love you guys. Have a good week. Go Chiefs, and be nice to each other and give some hugs.
There you go. Peace out, man.
All right, see you, brother.
Later.